Good morning, YouTube. Back at it again, another episode of The World is Burning. Starting this one off strong. Bloody hell, Zeus. Out walking the dog, a lovely Yorkshire day. Things like this makes you happy to be alive. What doesn't make you happy to be alive is living paycheck to paycheck, and it seems like we have a record amounts of people who are now living paycheck to paycheck. It's one of those, it's like, how do you get out of that situation? All the bills are going up, your insurance is going up, rent's going up, cost of food's going up, cost of living's going up. And it's hard to get out of that situation once you're in it. Now, I've been telling all my friends and family, don't be doing any big purchases right now. Ride it out. Hopefully inflation will come down. I don't think it will, though, if I'm being honest with you. You don't want to be in debt right now. You want to be prepared. And when you're living paycheck to paycheck, I'll put some stats up here, but most people are paycheck to paycheck. It's hard to get out of. Like, how do you start investing when you make £2,000 a month and your bills come out to 1,900? You're left with £100 left. We're going to see some videos of people going through this right now. But yeah, let me know if you like seeing my face on these videos. If you don't like seeing my face, I'll stop doing this. But yeah, let's get into it. The world is burning, people. Let's check out what the world's saying.
Alright guys, congratulations if you made it through that intro and you got through seeing 2 minutes in my ugly mug. We're going to get straight into it. It's paycheck to paycheck, people. So many people are living paycheck to paycheck. Let's see how everyone's holding up.
Know things are bad when just looking at your bank account balance drives you to tears. If you're wondering how
We've all been there, people.
one woman's emotional rant sparked a debate about cost of living and inequality in America, then girl, let me tell you. Mackenzie Moan and her husband both work full-time. She's a nurse. They have 2 kids, and according to her, they don't live above their means. Yet, just 4 days after they got paid, she was on TikTok weeping about having only $200 in their account after bills. A lot of people empathized with Mackenzie and said that they too have good jobs and are still living with little to no money in between paydays. But there are also people who said that she, as an educated, employed, married white woman, is privileged. But Mackenzie isn't alone. Over 60% of Americans say they live pay.
Yeah, it's really not a black or a white thing, guys. It's not a racism thing. Everyone's going through it right now. If you're boiling it down to racism or men v women or LGBTQ against everyone else, you're missing the point. We're all in this together.
To paycheck. And 30% of those people don't even make enough to cover standard expenses. And it's even worse for Black and Latino people and women who are more likely to be and underemployed.
There we go. This girl was speaking facts, and then she just brings it straight to the Latino, Black women against men. You're missing the point, guys. You're missing the point altogether if you think like this.
That with the gender pay gap, the rising cost of childcare, the pink tax, and the fact that wages in industries dominated by women haven't kept up with inflation, and you'll see that women are being hit particularly hard. And it should really tell you how dire things are when a person cries about having only $200 to last 2 weeks, and people's response is come back when you have zero.
I mean, that's a terrible response, but yeah, honestly, guys, it's not a racism thing. It's not a sexism thing. It's not a homophobia thing. There's literally the elites and everybody else. You know, you can have LGBTQ elites, you can have female elites, you can have black elites. Yeah, there might be a few less of them, but they're still there. Don't boil it down to racism, people. We're all in this together.
Am I the only one who feels like I will never stop living paycheck to paycheck? The economy we live in is trash. The jobs we work for are trash. They pay you the bare minimum, but want you to show up and give your 110%. How does that work? These houses, they want you to pay $1,000+ for rent, and they're 1980 houses. You gotta have a deposit, last month's rent, first month's rent. Like, why do I need to pay last month's rent? I don't understand that. Car insurance, car payments, they're rip-offs. Why am I paying $300 for car insurance? I don't understand. Health insurance, skyrocket. Food, skyrocket. Like, I just don't understand how I will ever be able to afford to wake up and go.
Yeah, and you're not going to be able to, in the current climate, if things don't change, you're not going to be able to. Look at Tatiana here in the comments. I'm almost negative to negative every paycheck. This woman here is saying, most definitely me. If you look through these comments, guys, everybody's saying they're broke. Leave me a comment. Are you broke? Are you going through it right now? And where do you live in the world?
On a plane and enjoy my best life. I just don't understand. By the time my kids get to adulthood, they're gonna have to pay to open the door to walk out of their own house. I really, really, really rather be a cockroach crawling on the ground for free than have to live this life every day. Like, I can't be the only one who feels this way.
You know,
Like, I need to know, y'all that get to wake up and take trips and go across country and do $100 shopping sprees at Target every single day, what are you doing? What's the secret to life?
yeah, and here's the thing, love, if you see those people online and they're flexing these great lives they have, they probably actually don't have that great of a life. That's the truth of it. You're just seeing the best parts of their life. You're not actually seeing any of the struggles they go through. You're not seeing them all depressed. You're not seeing them looking at the bank account because they've paid for all these trips. You're not going to see that bit.
You know how everyone says that they live paycheck to paycheck? Wallahi, I was never able to relate. Literally never. I'd get paid on the 1st and I'll be broke by the 14th, 15th. So what am I actually living? It ain't paycheck to paycheck. And then I would actually have to be asking my parents for money. I'll be like, I'll pay you back on the 1st. And it will be a cycle. Legit, since I was 17 till now. And for the first time yesterday, I contributed to something because I was able to and I was not living. Is it this one? I was legit in IKEA with my mum and we were buying stuff for the new household. And kid you not, she was putting stuff backwards. Obviously, you know, IKEA, a little bit, it adds up. And I was like, nah, it's fine, we need this, convincing her. And then when we got to the checkout, I paid using my card. And the amount, I just can't believe it. Normally, I wouldn't even contribute £10 to the household. Not because I didn't want to, but just because, like, I couldn't afford it. Like, I needed the money. Oh my God, I did this wrong. No, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to listen to me. Mom was legit like, oh my God, like, you know, Jazakallah khair. Like, she was so happy. And I was just so happy that I could, like, take a little weight off her shoulder. It wasn't even too much. And as much as digital marketing has made that possible for me, because I'm no longer waiting for a paycheck, it just keeps coming in. Like, I legit cashed out 400 and something pounds today. And I still have like another 400 something pending. So like it will just keep coming. No joke. I was in Umrah like beginning of this year and everything that I asked for is coming true. It has or it's coming true. Like
Well, shout out to this girl. It sounds like she's pulled through. She was living paycheck to paycheck, found a job that she enjoys and she's getting paid for. So yeah, shout out to this girl. Keep contributing to the household.
I live and work in Spain, making roughly €1,000 a month, which in America is nothing, but in Spain is more than enough to live.
What?
I only work 16 hours a week, and I'm able to afford a super nice apartment in the city center.
What the hell? She's living on 1,000 a month in Madrid. Guys, I don't think anyone Spanish watches my stuff. I mean, barely anyone watches this stuff. Leave me a comment if you're in Madrid, because these comments here are also saying you can't live comfortably on €1,000 in Madrid. I've been to Madrid. It's not something that you can live well on 1,000. My God.
Of Madrid. Food costs me €20 a week. My electric
What?
bill is like €30 a month. I don't have to worry about gas.
Hang on a minute. I've been to Spain. I'm going back to Spain. Even when I'm in holiday mode and spending a bit of cash, you know, you can't live off €20 a month. This woman's out of control. A quick Google search will tell you a nice apartment in Madrid is 1,000 to €2,000. So I don't know how you do that on 1K a month. My rent is, so she says back now, my rent is $700 a month, and most people I know pay even less than that. The exact same places would be 2,000 plus in a comparable American city. Well, I believe that bit. She must be sharing an apartment with a bunch of people.
or a car payment or insurance because the public transportation system is so world class that you don't even need a car at all. Madrid is like the New
She's right about that. Europeans do tend to have better public transport.
York of Spain, except if you were living in the city center of New York, you'd have to be making literally at least $5,000 a month, and that's extremely lowballing it. Just their way of life in general, like, is so much more relaxed and just taking time to enjoy life rather.
That is true. That is actually true. When you go to Spain, it doesn't feel like anyone's working. It's a real chill place.
Just working constantly. They literally have a siesta in the middle of the day where they
Also
take
true.
3 hours to go nap or go to a coffee shop to hang out with friends. Like, the American mind cannot fathom. It's just crazy to me because, like, you've been told growing up your whole life that America is the best country in the world. That's just so far from the truth. And it's, like, very obvious how much worse it is now that I've gotten out.
Shout out to this comment by Wayfarer. 20 euros a week for groceries. What do you eat?
America.
My rent is $850. I just paid $800 to have my car fixed and broke again. Groceries are $75 a week. Gas is $300 a month, and your paycheck is $1,000. Definition of living paycheck to paycheck. Think you need to book yourself a flight to Madrid and go hang out with that other girl.
What does the term living paycheck to paycheck mean to you? So under this comment on my last video, there was people arguing like, no, well, if you have savings, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. And someone's like, no, if you have savings, that's for savings. And
I actually think if you have savings, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. I haven't seen any of these videos, guys. First time I've seen that. I wouldn't class that living paycheck to paycheck. To me, it's like you get paid, you pay all your bills, you got $100 left, and then you spend that, and you've still got another week or two to go to payday. That's what paycheck to paycheck means to me. Leave me a comment though. What do you think, guys?
you don't have any other money after you've budgeted all your stuff. You are living paycheck to paycheck. To me, living paycheck to paycheck meant maybe you have a little savings. Maybe you have like $1,000 in savings. But other than that, like all of your bills go out and your paycheck is gone. You know, maybe you don't have debt, but you don't really have much else. You don't have savings, maybe a little tiny bit of savings. But other than that, you know, not really. And maybe you do have a tiny bit of debt from like, oh, I have to get new tires on my car, something like that. But really it's like, you know, don't really have debt, but I don't have savings. You know, I'm living one paycheck to the next paycheck. But people seem to think it's like a wide range of things. Like, oh, like I have only $58 in my checking account at the end of the month. That's me living paycheck to paycheck, regardless of how much I have in my savings. Okay. But this is also why I'm sharing money stuff. Well, first, it gets a lot of views and people seem to like it. So that's good. But another reason I think it's really interesting, I like asking people about money. Not everyone likes to share.
Yeah, guys, just going to pause it there. In the comments, it seems like everyone's looking like what I said. Savings doesn't count. If you have savings, you can't claim that you're working paycheck to paycheck. That's what it looks like. But leave me a comment, guys. I love hearing from the community.
Financial situation, which is fine. But a couple people commented on this video that this comment's from saying like, call me old school, but like we used to not share stuff about our money. Like this is weird. Or someone's like, this is really bizarre that you would choose to share this on the internet. And I'm like, just because people didn't do it back in the day doesn't mean people shouldn't do it now. And I think it's a good thing because people seem to be confused about certain terms like living paycheck to paycheck or just like, and people are like, oh, I work at this job and I make this much. And I think it's a good thing to like be a little bit more money transparent and be like, you know, this is what we got going on.
Yeah, I think these days, you know, back in the day, you know, you'd never really speak about your finances. I actually think it's quite important these days. Just to let people know they're not going through it by themselves. We'll do one more, then get out, guys.
You know how there was that article the other day talking about like 65% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Living paycheck to paycheck is like a crazy sensation, but like most people don't even realize they live in paycheck to paycheck until they get out of it. Me, like when I was first able to like experience like non-paycheck to paycheck living was like during like the panoramic and like I got forlorn and I was getting government checks. To this day, like those are some of the biggest checks I've ever seen in my life. Most important of all, those checks.
Just let that sink in, guys. The free money that he was getting during the pandemic were the biggest paychecks he's got in his life. Just let that sink in.
A newfound sense of freedom and gave me actual fucking agency over my life. The crazy, like, people don't realize like how much agency you lose without that discretionary spending. Like, for example, during the aforementioned, like, me being forlorn or whatever, like, I had the thought of like, oh my god, I was able to actually be human. 'Cause imagine like putting in like your 20, your 40 hours, bro, and then you don't get to do anything in your fucking free time because all your money is gone. All your money go to like living expenses, like existing. You exist when you live paycheck to paycheck.
And he's not wrong about that bit. You do exist when you live in paycheck to paycheck. So leave me a comment, guys, if you're going through this, which part of the world you're in. Love hearing from the community. Also, let me know if my intro video was good. If these videos are better with my face at the beginning. Let me know. I love hearing from you guys. And if you don't like it, I'll stop doing them. All right, catch you in a bit, guys. Bye.